Georgia Republican Congressman Buddy Carter joining us now. Congressman, great to see you. Happy New Year. I just want to play for you. It wasn't just Speaker Johnson who weighed in on Maria's program yesterday. We also had Senator Lindsey Graham, who's going to be the budget chief in the Senate in the new year. Let's just listen to what he said about whether he wants to split the bill or go with immigration and taxes at the same time. Roll tape.
What does President Trump want the most? To make us safe and prosperous. How many times did he talk about a broken immigration system on the campaign trail? For every time he talked about taxes, he talked about broken illegal immigration 10 times. I know where his heart is.
So he knows where his heart is, and he says it's not in terms of one big, beautiful bill. But that's not what the president-elect himself said last night on Truth Social. He wrote, "We must secure our border, unleash American energy, and renew the Trump tax cuts, which were the largest in history, but we will make it even better. No tax on tips. It'll all be made up with tariffs and much more from countries that have taken advantage of the U.S. for years." So, maybe Lindsey Graham thinks he knows what's in the president's heart, president-elect's heart, but that's not what the president-elect said last night.
And he's made it very clear to the Republican conference that he wants one big, beautiful bill. And he wants to make sure that that bill is going to give the American citizens what they mandated in electing him. 77 million people voted for President Trump. And they made it clear that they want border security. They want to unleash American energy. They want to make sure that we get our economy going by decreasing the cost of living. All of those things are going to be included in this one big, beautiful bill. And yes, we're very excited about it. And I'm very confident we can get it done.
Now, Senator Graham is, as I said, going to be the budget chair coming up in the Senate. His vote is significant. He may bring others with him. Would he be willing to take on Donald Trump and kill the reconciliation bill if it's got taxes in it?
Well, I know Senator Graham is a team player, and he's going to follow the lead of Donald Trump, as we are in the House, in the Republican conference. Donald Trump is the quarterback. He's going to be calling the plays. That it's up to us to run those plays, to execute those plays, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to be unified. We're going to follow his lead. We're going to follow his play call, and we're going to make it work.
Now, are we going to hear that same jargon that you have to pay for tax cuts when, in fact, the 2017 tax cuts of Donald Trump have since then brought in an additional 48% in tax revenue? That's $1.5 trillion that those tax cuts made as a result of more economic activity being generated. It didn't cost money. It made money. Do the folks inside the Beltway, can they get clear on that point?
Yeah, and it's important, as you point out, for us to articulate that, to make sure that people understand that they're going to have more money in their pocket. The average Georgian makes about $75,000 a year. If these tax cuts were to expire at the end of the year, they would be facing a tax increase of about $1,500.
That's right.
That's 8 weeks worth of groceries. They can't afford that. It's tough enough as it is. There's no good time for a tax increase, but right now is an awful time for a tax increase.
And again, 65% of Americans got a tax break from the 2017. It wasn't just for the rich, the rhetoric that you heard on the campaign trail, but sometimes you hear that rhetoric from Republicans as well. Again, will all Republicans, both in the House and the Senate, vote for the reconciliation bill that Donald Trump wants?
I'm still confident that we're going to be unified, that he is the quarterback. He's calling the plays. He's the offensive coordinator. He's going to make sure that we have a path to follow, and we're going to follow that path, and we're going to be unified in following that path.
And finally, there is a real big problem with the deficit and with the debt, the overall debt, over $36 trillion now. Will the DOJ team present Congress with recommendations that will be followed up on, because that could do so much to cure our deficit problem and to really dig into our debt problem?
There's no question about it. And the DOJ, and with Vivek and with Elon and the DOJ caucus, of which I am a member, we are going to be the ones who have to implement their suggestions. Look, these are two smart businessmen. They know what they're talking about here, and they know how to do this. It's going to be up to us to execute that plan, and we're planning on doing just that. We know there's waste, fraud, abuse all throughout the system, and there's places where we can save money. It's up to us to make sure that happens.
Well, you got to cancel your vacation plans for 2025, because I don't see how you're going to be able to take a day off in this first year of Trump's second term. Buddy Carter, thank you so much, Congressman. Really appreciate you coming in. Happy New Year to you. Coming up, a major winner.